This day, I would like to invest into these historical pages that how they will look like in, I don't know, maybe 10 to 20 years. Because the things that are going on the markets and globally in terms of financial landscape, in terms of like crypto environments, they are completely different than they were like a few years ago. And they started like a few years ago, and last year these changes have been speeded up. And let's move forward. You could see that we see Ethereum, which cannot go up anyway, and it needs some changes because of leadership and censor, but let's move. Last cycles, and from 2017, 2016, OGs should remember all these new projects or all old projects that have been driven by OGs, by some funds, invested by some big names. They were always going up, and every listing was like a masterpiece. Every token was like a masterpiece. People was in hurry to buy, people was in hurry to participate in some sales, ideal platforms, etc. What is going on now? Even if you take a look at anything, whatever is running by something disruptive or something like, okay, it's backed by someone, it's backed by someone, invested by this fund, the result is almost like 95% is the same. It's going down. And especially if like some old names, they try to push something, it's going down even faster. This is the market environment that we work with now, but it is not bad. Of course, it's more complex than when you can invest randomly and make money, but this creates a lot of opportunities because a lot of good projects, a lot of good companies, a lot of smart people are available for investments, are open for meaningful cooperations because they really need it. And you can identify a real builders now from someone who just wants to capture some positive trend on the market, which is very, very important. In general, if you consider crypto like a crypto, you remember 2017, Bitcoin has been fighting against banks. Now Bitcoin is like a bankable asset. It is not, from my point of view, like an asset. It's not a crypto anymore. It is ETFs. It is in some government reserves, like countries and governments, they invest into BTC. They make this like tradable in banks among TradeFi, which is not bad, but it is uncorrelated from crypto now. You could see BTC is up, tokens are down, because no retail, no crypto flash blood is coming to the market. That's where we stay in. You see, no fresh blood. That's as I said, BTC up, tokens are down. Why? Because nothing interesting happened. No cheap money here. No quantitative easing, no Q&A from the US, no helicopter money in China and other countries that could push it up, right? But in general, everything is kind of stable, but very fragile. You see, like a few weeks ago, just 500K traded orders collapsed like 20 or 30 quite strong and kind of reputable coins on the market. Like it's crashed them for 50-70% minus. Just 500K. You can imagine what is the market liquidity now. Chains fight against each other in terms of getting retail from one chain another. You remember Pump Fun on Solana, then Memes on BNB, then Alpha 2.0 on BNB. And it's happening. And other chains are trying to compete, but the chain will win that has more utility and more retail power behind. I will explain it a bit later. And of course, you could see that someone is in the graveyard. This is OM, which was like top 25 with nice licenses, with nice stuff around that, billions of FDV, $40 million US, and it's collapsed. This is about the market, and it cannot recover. No any marketing messages will help, because no people with money. People cannot just buy and push it up because there is no money to buy. But as I said, hard times, they always create good times. Now you could find like really nice ones who are building, who have good connections, who have like a very nice roots behind them to manage your success in the future and to help them to grow. You can identify investment opportunities while others are fighting regarding kind of trying to survive today, right? Because most of companies, most of projects, most of investment funds, exchanges, etc., they are fighting now to survive because most of them, they have LPs, they have kind of loans, and these loans have to be paid. If you don't have your own funds, if you don't have a sustainable business model, you can only fundraise. But when markets are bad, it's hard to raise money. It's hard to get profits from your recent investments. And you could see like a lot of interesting balance sheets from like very big guys who are in paper profits, but there is no liquidity because they cannot even liquidate 100K. Because if they do it, there is like huge losses and it's gone. But if you have funds, or even if you have like small funds, it is a time of opportunities. I had some interviews like last week regarding our investment in World Liberty Finance, and I told the guy from New York Times that for us and for me personally, it was like our investment in TON in 2022, when everyone said, "Hey, TON is a scam. It is not good. It is something shady." But look, it was like this: that TON has Telegram, one has Telegram, and we bought a lot at $1 and even below prices. And now you could see even now we're like way above that our purchased prices, our entry price, right? Because we try to identify things that are not hyped yet. And similar to now, you could see that, okay, people are running for one meme coin to another, to one AI agent to another, but which is sustainable, which has some unique advantages behind, right? It is sounds maybe complicated, but it is not that. Because if you see that, okay, Binance Alpha is going up, there are a lot of some AI agents or some DeFi projects, it doesn't mean that you can go and invest in any DeFi project and any DeFi agent. You should be very careful in terms of what is the team behind, what is their capability to take this market correctly, to play in this market correctly, if they even know how to get it listed, how to get people to hold these tokens, how to incentivize communities, how to incentivize exchanges, how to motivate them to work with them. Personal relationships with it are great. And it is fair for any industry, even in TradeFi or classic venture investments. Not only product matters. There are like a graveyard, like plenty of dead projects that had a great technology, great stuff, but execution matters. You can build something very simple, which people will use, or which people will like a culture, and then if you execute it nicely, it's done, it works. And from our side, as a company, as I would say, like for now, we're a global investor. We invest in TradeFi, we invest in crypto. We're trying to be at as many good and distressed venues as possible, because this is a source of your future profits. This is our plan for this year. First of all, yes, it's some compliance stuff didn't let me write it properly, but this is our message to the market and to the all crypto guys who are with us in this space. I think together we should identify good ones and help to support them. From our side, now we have like our funds that we started to deploying with 250 mil. We already invested like $76 million in last 3 weeks. And for next week, we already signed deals for another like 35 or 36 million, I don't remember correctly. This is from OTC markets. And with our joint products that we are launching together with our partners, we already started buying tokens on spot, on secondary markets. Our wish is to build a portfolio with approximately $3 billion deployed on secondary markets this year, not OTC, by buy from exchanges. And our team started working on this yesterday. These token names will be available on our public wallets, and we will start promote it nicely next week. It will not move, it will stay there just to support the industry, because we believe if we support, a lot of people will follow us, then a lot of people will see that market is recovering again, and we can attract more people from TradeFi, from other nations that are looking for something interesting, for something promising. And yeah, that's how we work. And yeah, it's Falcon Finance, of course. This is our initiatives that we launched by labs. And we do believe that this market is being kind of a replication, upgraded replication of traditional market. Because traditional markets and TradeFi funds, they have a lot of fixed income products. Yes, now on the market we have a lot of, not a lot, just a few yield-bearing assets, but they rely on some single strategy, let's say funding rate arbitrage from Ethereum shorts or funding rate arbitrage from Bitcoin shorts. But it seems delta neutral, but it is not risk-free and it is not scalable. Our ultimate goal is to let people with altcoins, with stables, with blue chips like BTC, like miners, to utilize their tokens, to use their tokens to get like yield at the competitive level without selling their assets directly, without impacting the price right now, and capture some upside for good times. And yeah, I will not do it like a marketing message, something you can find in the internet, and I will move to another slide, right? Why I'm so optimistic, why we are started again actively looking for good opportunities, for good projects, for good founders, and good entry points. Because the US will definitely cut rates, and it will push more fresh money to the market. It will happen sooner or later. And they anyway need to print more money. It can happen today, it can happen like in 3 months, in 6 months, but it will happen. And it always affects the prices. You could take a look at historical data, prices goes only up. Because more dollars on the market, people buy something, price goes up. It's just, you should not be like a professional forecaster. It's just like this. It will lead definitely to Bitcoin all-time high, because these dollars, they will go to TradeFi, they will go to BlackRock and funds like this. And you see BlackRock has its own ETF now on BTC. This money will flow there. BTC is becoming like a strategic reserve after gold, like, or additionally to gold, because it is not kind of replicable. You cannot create another BTC. Amount is limited, and now it's already recognized. And you just take a look at a news article from 2016 when all the same guys who buy Bitcoin today, they told that it's for drug dealers, for some shady stuff, etc., but now BlackRock has its own ETF. Then also payments and fixed income tokenization. As I said, there are a few yield-bearing assets, and this amount will grow. T-bills tokenized, bonds will be tokenized, real estate is tokenized, but now it still doesn't have a proper secondary markets, but it will have. That's why we are also building this, and we are actively investing in this. Market fragmentation is already here, right? You could see this regulatory fragmentation. The US is one regulatory framework, BRICS countries another regulatory framework, Islamic countries another, MiCA another, and of course China another one, right? And those who will find a way to work with all of them, to be a bridge between all of them, or to identify players that can be bridged, they will build and they will participate in new global financial framework, which will already happen. You saw this news about Pakistan. They are building quite a lot of interesting stuff that will come in. This is exactly part of the plan. And how to answer this question when you are dead and your son or daughter asking you why you're so rich, man. That's why you bought BTC. You played with Binance-listed mid-caps coins. You played with Binance Alpha. You focused on the US and the China-centric coins, because there, and these two countries, most of crypto projects, powerful crypto projects are coming from. And definitely you bought distressed assets. The best idea was to buy, for example, something after like minor hack, when it's crashed and you bought and it's up. This is your friends, this is your source of revenue. When something is up and it is pumping like 200%, I would say the worst time to buy. It's your enemy. It will kill your profits. And of course, we're not like kids here, right? And you all guys are very smart. and you will definitely do your own research. We will not take my presentation like financial advice, and will invest wisely or learn or whatever. Yeah, thanks for joining us. Thanks for listening to me. Make crypto great again.